Dear students, today we will see one chapter overheads in Advanced Accounting and Auditing Paper 1 for second year BCom students of Veer Nirmat South Gujarat University. Here is the outline of the lecture. First we will discuss meaning of overheads. Then we will see classification of overheads based on function, based on nature. Then we will move to the objectives of study of overheads. Then we will discuss steps for distribution of overheads. And then we will see difference between allocation and apportionment. Finally, we will see methods of apportioning common expenses with examples. And last we will discuss on reapportionment of service department's overhead to the production department. Meaning of overheads. Overheads comprise of indirect materials, indirect employee cost and indirect expenses which are not directly identifiable or allocable to a cost object in an economically feasible way. So the total of indirect cost, that is indirect materials, indirect labor and indirect expenses, is collectively called as overheads or on cost. Indirect costs are called overheads since they are incurred generally and not specifically over various departments or cost centers or over various heads of account. Now let us see classification of overhead based on function. Based on function, we can classify overheads into 4 classes. First is factory or manufacturing or production overheads. Second is office and administration overheads. Third, selling and distribution overheads. And last, research and development overheads. Now let us see one by one the sub classification of factory, office, selling, distributions and R&D overheads. In factory or manufacturing or production overhead, we have stores overhead, that is expenses connected with purchasing and handling of materials. Here when we say materials, it is raw materials, semi-finished goods and finished goods. Then second is labor overhead, in which expenses connected with labor and amenities provided to laborers. When we discuss about overhead, it is indirect labor cost. Then C is factory administration overhead, that is expenses connected with administration of factory. Now the second classification is office and administration overheads, in which we have office expenses incurred on routine office work. Say for example, telephone expense, printing and stationery expense, office electricity expense, etc. Then B, administrative expenses which incurred on office personnel, that is salaries and facilities to admin staff. Third is selling and distribution overheads, in which first is selling expenses incurred to persuade customer to purchase the firm's products and or engage its services, that is to maintain and expand the market. And B, distribution expenses incurred to execute the orders received from the customers. Fourth is research and development overheads incurred first for research expenses, research in relation to product or a market research. And B, development expenses, that is development of a new product for the factory or a company. Next is classification of overheads based on its nature, and we have 3 classifications. First is fixed or a constant overhead. second is a variable overhead, and third is a semi-variable overheads. First we will see fixed or a constant overhead. These expenses are unaffected by any variation in the volume of activity or level of output. For example, rent of a factory building, rent for office, depreciation of plant and machinery, or a managerial remuneration, etc. These are our fixed or a constant overhead. Fixed overhead remain constant from one period to another, except when they are deliberately changed. For example, increments given to staff or engagement of additional staff in the factory or office. Third is fixed overhead per unit of output are inversely related to level of activity. Here this is very important point. Once again I repeat, fixed overhead per unit of output are inversely related to level of activity, that is level of output. As output increases, fixed overhead per unit declines and vice versa. Second is variable overhead. These expenses change directly in proportion to the change in the volume of activity, say output. For example, indirect materials, lubricants, consumable stores, etc. Variable expenses per unit are regarded as constant. It means it remain constant per unit. And third is semi-variable overheads. These are expenses that exhibits features of fixed and variable overheads. For example, electricity, water, telephone and internet charges, and repairs and maintenance expenses for plant and machinery, etc. Now we will see objectives of study of overheads cost. First is to link the overheads to output. Overheads are not directly related to the product. Hence, an indirect method of establishing a relationship or linking becomes very necessary. This is done by linking overheads first to the cost center or a department and thereafter to the output produced. So, try to understand. First of all, we identify the overheads, that is indirect expenses, indirect material cost, indirect labor cost and other indirect expenses. Then we identify expenses for the department. It means indirect material cost for the particular department, indirect labor cost for the department, and finally from the department indirect overheads will be linked to the product produced by respective department. And the second objective is to control overheads. The total overheads incurred must be kept within reasonable control limits in order to achieve savings in cost or increase in profits. So, the main objective of study of overhead cost is to link the overheads to output, and the second is to control the overheads. Now we will see steps for the distribution of overheads. Manufacturing or production or a factory overheads are linked to output in two-phase manner, that is phase 1 and phase 2. In phase 1, overheads related to the department or cost center, and phase 2, overheads related to each cost center related or linked to the output of that particular department. And the linking process involves the following 6 steps that we will discuss one by one. First step is estimation or collection. It means the pooling of indirect expenses from the books of accounts and supportive records in logical groups, having regard to their nature and purpose. The information is collected from A. Invoices and stores requisitions for indirect material cost, wage analysis book for indirect labor cost, and journal entries for indirect expenses. Second is classification. Overheads are classified according to its nature, that is fixed overheads, variable overheads and semi-variable overheads or expenses. This classification facilitates decision making and proper budgeting to the management. And third, allocation. Allocation of overhead is the process of assigning a whole item of cost directly to the cost center. All specific expenses are related to cost centers in this step. Step number 4 is apportionment. Apportionment of overhead is distribution of overhead to more than one cost center on some equitable basis. Unallocated or common overheads are distributed in this fashion. For example, rent of a factory will be allocated or apportioned based on floor area occupied by each machinery or each department. Depreciation based on value of assets, etc. All overhead would have been related to various cost centers after this step. And our final step is reapportionment. This involves redistribution of service department expenses or overheads to the production departments, because output is produced only in production departments. So all overheads should be identified there too. Now we will see the difference between allocation and apportionment. First point of difference is allocation means assigning a whole item of cost directly to a cost center. Means it is directly identifiable. Directly identifiable overheads will be assigned directly to cost center or department. In apportionment, apportionment means distribution of overheads which are common to more than one cost center on some equitable basis, because these are not identifiable. Here it is identifiable cost in allocation, and in apportionment these are not identifiable cost, they are common cost. Number 2, the second point of difference is allocation, no basis required for allocation because it is directly allocable. And second point, in apportionment, apportionment is made on the basis of equitable base, that is area occupied, value of assets, number of workers, etc. Third point of difference, charging of expenses to only one cost center, whereas in apportionment, charging of expenses to more than one cost center. In allocation, next point is expenses are charged in full, whereas in apportionment, expenses are charged in proportions. And last point of difference, nature of expenses is specific and identifiable, Whereas in apportionment, nature of expense is general and common. Methods of apportioning common expenses or example. Before we start the discussion on it, my dear students, in university exams, you will be asked a question on this particular point, where we are to apportion common expenses to various departments by using proper or appropriate equitable base. So be attentive. This is very important point. Okay, here are the examples of common expenditures or overheads, and here on right hand side we have basis of apportionment of common expenses to various production as well as service department. First is rent, maintenance and insurance of building. It can be a factory building. Okay, so the base for apportionment for these three items of overheads will be our floor space, or you can say area occupied by the department. It can be a square feet. Second is factory lighting expenses. So this will be apportioned on the basis of number of light points or floor area. First preference will be given to number of light points, but if number of light points are not available, then the second appropriate base will be floor space area. So either number of light points or floor space area will be taken into consideration for apportionment of factory lighting expenses. Third is depreciation and insurance of assets, and the base will be value or a capital value of particular assets. Power for machines, and the base will be horsepower rate. In short, we can say HP rate. Next, machinery repairs and maintenance, that is machine hours or value of machinery. First preference will be given to machine hours, that is working of machine hours, and the second is value of machinery. But normally it is seen our Veer Narmad South Gujarat University, the base is taken value of machinery. Next is indirect wages, and the base is direct wages. Indirect wages will be apportioned in the ratio of direct wages of various departments. Supervision charges, time spent or number of employees or direct wages. So supervision charges will be apportioned on the basis of time spent by the supervisor in each department. If time spent is not available, then our second option is number of employees in each department. ये भी available नहीं है, तो in third option we will use direct wages. Next is canteen and labor welfare expenses, and the base of apportionment is number of employees or direct wages. Next, timekeeping and personal department expenses. The base is number of employees. Then holiday pay, ESI and PF contribution or perks given to the employees, and the base is direct wages of each department. Next, materials handling expenses. Our base is value of material consumed. Then next expense, stock insurance. Our base will be value of stock in each department. And last common expense, miscellaneous production expenses, or you can say sundry production expenses, and our base for apportionment is direct wages. So my dear students, here we understood how the common expenses or common overheads are to be apportioned to various production departments as well as service departments. Once again I tell you, This is one of the very important point or aspects from the viewpoint of university examinations. Now we will see reapportionment of service department overheads to various production department. Expenses of service departments are transferred to production departments are called reapportionment. The methods and their underlying assumptions are: let A and B are two production departments of a company. X and Y are two service departments. Our assumption: service departments rendered services only to production department. In such a case, that is, service department X rendered services to production department A and B only. Same way, service department Y rendered services to A and B. So in this assumption, the method used to apportionment of service department total overheads to production department will be a direct distribution method. Second assumption: both the service departments rendered services to production department and other service department. That is, service department X rendered services to production department A and B and service department Y. Same way, service department Y rendered services to production department A and B and service department X. In this case, our method will be repeated redistribution technique or simultaneous equations technique. Dear students, we will discuss both the methods in our next upcoming lectures. Students, thank you very much for viewing this video lecture. We will meet with new lecture in new video with examples of apportionment of overheads to production department and service department. Thank you very much.